The room had no windows because there was nothing outside it. No sky, no stars, no distance. Only a white marble hall suspended beyond creation, lit by a cold radiance that seemed older than light itself. At the center stood a chessboard. God sat on one side, Satan sat on the other. They had been playing for so long that even eternity had grown embarrassed to count the years. The board was enormous, its black squares darker than graves, its white squares polished like bones. The pieces were not carved from ivory or wood, but from living history. Pawns trembled with hunger, bishops whispered doctrines, knights reared up with the madness of conquerors. Rooks resembled towers, prisons, banks, parliaments. And the queens, oh, the queens were beautiful. They were called ideology, empire, progress, revenge. Satan leaned back in his chair and smiled. "You look tired." God did not answer. Below them, on earth, mankind was beginning another century with fireworks, speeches, debt, advertisements, and the old hope that this time everything would be different. Satan touched a black pawn. Somewhere, a poor man believed a rich liar. The pawn moved. Crowds gathered, flags appeared, enemies were invented. The poor man cheered as his own future was stolen from him. God watched in silence. "You see," Satan said, "I barely have to move. They do most of the work themselves." God lifted his hand and moved a bishop. Somewhere else, a woman entered a hospital during a plague and stayed there until her hands bled from washing the dying. For 3 days, humanity looked almost redeemable. Then the newspapers came, then the cameras, then the speeches, then the foundations, then the scandal. Satan laughed softly. "Beautiful opening, poor middle game." God lowered his eyes. On the board, cities burned with the tiny elegance of candles. "Why do you laugh?" God asked. "Because you still expect them to improve. And you don't?" "My dear Lord," Satan said, moving his knight, "I expect them to explain their collapse in excellent language." The knight landed. On earth, philosophers wrote manifestos, generals gave interviews, economists discovered compassionate terms for hunger, priests blessed weapons, scientists built machines capable of saving mankind and immediately sold them to the highest bidder. The hall filled with voices, prayers, screams, applause, commercials, wedding songs, trial verdicts, children crying in languages that would soon disappear. God listened. Satan covered one ear. "They have become unbearable." "They are frightened," God said. "No, they are entertained." A long silence followed. Then, without being touched, one white pawn moved by itself. God looked at it. Satan stopped smiling. On earth, in a city ruined by famine, an old beggar found a piece of bread beneath a broken cart. He stared at it for a long time. Then he gave it to a child who was not his. Nothing else happened. No angel descended. No miracle opened the sky. No prophet recorded the deed. The child ate. The beggar died before morning. The pawn continued forward. The entire board trembled. Satan leaned close. "That is illegal." God whispered, almost fearfully. "No, that is freedom." For the first time since the beginning of the match, neither player knew the next move.